We've reached the part of the podcast where the GOAT, XFL Jim, comes on and we talk a little CFL. How you doing today, big man?
I am doing great. We get football every day this weekend.
And our
Oh
Hamilton
boy.
-3 bet that we gave out on Spring Fever is looking so exceptional right now.
Don't you
Hamilton,
fucking mush us right now.
I'm just saying it's looking good. They just
This
scored.
anything can happen in the CFL.
Hey, buddy, you know what? I'm trying to be positive because one of the kids I coach called me, said I was one of the most negative persons that they knew. Negative people they knew, excuse me.
The way you talk about coaching, I can kind of get that.
You know what? Here's the thing, dude. I just have high expectation. And winners win. And that's what I'm trying to teach these kids. Be a fucking winner, fucking win. And too bad that the Toronto Argonauts did not have me on the sideline last game against that's Saskatchewan, dude. No, excuse me. Too bad Saskatchewan.
Yeah, too bad Saskatchewan didn't have you on the sideline.
I mean, I would be
dreamed.
So let's just talk about that. In terms of week 7, before we dive into these lines for week 8, like, just what were your biggest takeaways from week 7? Is there any team that you like? Are you like, okay, they're not as good? Okay, you know what? I was a little overvalued on this team. Like, what? Any takeaways?
I think I'm cooling off on BC a little bit, on British Columbia, on the Lions. So they came out the gate swinging with the number one offense, just blasted points away, blowing out teams. And then ever since their game against Winnipeg, where they got trounced, these last 2 games they played, they haven't looked great. And their defense is nothing to really write home about. So I think they're coming back down to earth. Don't get me wrong. That offense is still really good. Nathan Rourke is still the most impressive player of the year for me. But something about them, they don't really have. They have a decent run game with James Butler, but I'm cooled off on them more than anything, and I'm probably warming up to Hamilton actually ramping up and doing something this season. I think Hamilton could actually end up having a fairly decent season, all things considered, with the horrible start they've had. I actually see value on a Hamilton Grey Cup future.
So what Hamilton is what right now?
Last I saw, they were 18-1.
Because they're in the East, Toronto's leading the East. So yeah, I mean that definitely has,
the East is always fucking a dumpster fire. Every year, consistently.
So I think there's definitely value right there, because just looking at Argonauts 3-2, Redbacks 0-4, these 2 teams, Montreal and Hamilton, battling. Then you look at the West, Lions 4-1, Rough Riders 4-3, Stampeders 4-1, Blue Bombers 7-0. Just absolutely loaded there. And
the West is insane.
The West is absolutely insane. I agree 100%. We're going to be using the lines from FanDuel today. Let's just jump right into it.
My other last takeaway is the Riders, the Rough Riders are nothing without Cody Fajardo. That backup is not going to be able to get it done ever.
Yeah, he looked a little rough, if you know what I mean.
I'm okay. I'm leaving now.
All right, so game number 1, the aforementioned Rough Riders getting 1.5 at home against the BC Lions, over under 49. Me being me, Big Cody, he's locked in.
He's playing.
All right. I like DMX's Rough Riders here. What say you?
Yeah, I like the Rough Riders money line. So earlier in the week, I saw this line. They actually had the lines out early this week. They're getting better about doing that. These books have been waiting until Tuesday to get lines out sometimes, but they had them out early. So it started out with the Rough Riders -1, and now they're already -1 and plus 1.5. I've seen some places +2. I like a money line +110. Give it to me.
I love the +110 here. I love the +1.5. But here's the thing: we see some funky scores in the CFL.
Yep.
Does that 1.5 worry you?
No, I feel like +1.5. The CFL is wonky enough that you see a lot of 1-score losses compared to the NFL. I actually see value and potential, especially at -110. I just think the Rough Riders are going to outright beat them. Similar ability on offense, in my opinion, especially with a ramped up Cody Fajardo, and the Rough Riders defense is easily the best unit that BC's seen all year.
Now,
Like Winnipeg was really good on defense, and you saw what happened there.
Oh, insanely good. I like the Rough Riders. I'm probably just gonna play the plus. I'll play the plus 1.5 just because, I don't have as big as balls as you, Jim. I'm
I'm
just gonna play.
money line, baby. Give it me the Riders.
All right,
Don't touch this total.
so Jim's taking the Rough Riders plus 110. I'm on the Rough Riders plus 1.5. Over under 49. Jim says pass. What is your thought process there?
That's just the line. I want to say over, but like this is a Cody Fajardo coming off an injury, and BC's been looking like rough ever since their Winnipeg loss. So I have no idea what to pick here. Maybe lean under, but then all of a sudden, like Cody Fajardo could ball out, and this could just be a shootout. So
Yeah.
I stay away.
Okay, so we're gonna stay away from that. We're both on the Rough Riders. Jim's playing the Rough Riders plus 110. Uncle Rico is playing the Rough Riders plus 1.5. Next game of the week. Second time in 2 weeks, we are going with the Blue Bombers, laying 1.5 plus 105 odds, money line minus 110, or you can get the Calgary Stampede plus 1.5, juice to minus 125. Not really a big fan of that juice, or the money line of minus 110. What do you say?
This is nuts, dude. This spread started out the week at like 2.5, 3. It's already down to 1.5. I like Calgary on the money line here. You saw in their game against Winnipeg in Winnipeg that Calgary had the potential to win that game. They left a lot of points on the board, and they were still almost in it to come back at the end. I like Calgary straight up, especially at home. They're so good at home.
They're phenomenal at home. I agree with you 100%. I'll probably play the money line here. I don't like taking the 1.5 at minus
No,
125.
minus 125, it's not worth it. I will take the money line as well.
So Jim and I are both on the Stampeders here, minus 110. But here's the big thing. 46.5.
I'm taking this one's so tough. I'm probably going to lean over. I think there is more offense in this game. Like where Calgary in the last game got field goals, I expect them to get touchdowns. I expect that to drive the points up. And I think Zach Collaros recovers a little bit from his not as great game against Edmonton last week. I think this is an over for me.
See, I'm going to pass.
Again, very soft on the over. This is a tough one.
I just feel like I'm just so gun shy after last weekend's mockery.
Dude, last weekend I got fucked by the totals, and it looks like this weekend's not starting off any better with this Montreal Hamilton game.
I will say this, I played two totals. I had the Redbacks and the Argonauts over, and I actually had the Argonauts and the Rough Riders over. So I did hit both of those.
I went 2-2. So I got.
So I'm gonna pass.
I would lean over, but that's a very soft lean.
I'm gonna pass here. I don't know. I think it's gonna be more defensive than you know what I mean. I think it's just gonna be more of a defensive game.
It very well could be. There's a real scenario where Calgary's defense, like both these defenses, are really good. There's a real scenario where there's like a lot of sacks, a lot of QB pressures, and not a lot of scoring.
Yeah, so I'll lean pass. I'm just gonna say it. I'll say pass.
Yep.
I'm gonna go pass. Last game, we're looking at the Redbacks getting 5.5, money line plus 190, over under of 47.5. Jimmy, what do you think?
This is the only line that hasn't moved throughout the week. It opened up at Toronto minus 5.5. It's still Toronto minus 5.5. I just think for a Red Blacks team that is competitive, I think that's too many points. I'm on the Red Blacks here. I'm not touching that money line. I think the Red Blacks, to me, are a team that can cover but not win. I'm also, I guess, tentatively on the under.
See, I'm thinking over, and this is why. I'm just looking at their last games. Toronto's last game, 52 points were scored. 52 total went over. The game before, 54. The last couple games, Toronto's games have been shooting out. 45 against the Blue Bombers, didn't go over there. Week 3 went over, even though they put up 3. Week 2 did not. and week 1 they had a bye. So they've basically gone over in every game but 2. So
That's fair. You know what? I switch it. I'll lean over because Ottawa can be competitive. I just don't like this Red Blacks offense very much.
really, I mean, Red Blacks put up 23 against the Tiger Cats.
They're competitive.
They put up 33 against Montreal. I mean, they're scoring points, dude. So I don't know. I think call me crazy, but I think this game could balloon out.
You know what? I'll join you in that. I like a good over on a Sunday night. Give me the over 47.5. Give me Ottawa plus 5.5. I'm not touching that money line still.
You know what? I am not touching the money line whatsoever. I did take the plus 5.5, excuse me, and I will take the over 47. In terms of parlays, I'll be honest. If I'm going to do a parlay, it's going to be this Rough Riders plus the 110, and I'll take the Stampede plus minus 110. Comes out to a nice little juicy plus 300. That'd be my parlay of the week. What say you?
Well, we talked about it on Spring Fever, but I like what I'm doing with my rollover parlay. So right now I have the Hamilton -3 locked up right now. Hopefully that comes and cashes through. When that does, I'm going to roll whatever I win into Saskatchewan money line, and when I win that, I'm going to roll that into Calgary money line, and when I win that, I'm just going to roll that into Ottawa plus 5.5.
Look at Jimbo thinking outside the box a little bit, a little rollover, dude.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot, dude. I did that with Marshall one year in college football. It was a nice little time.
It's fun. On a side note, college football, you pick a G5 team who's going to like run their conference, do that.
Yeah, because it's a great opportunity. I like that idea a lot. Live odds are minus 14.5 for our Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Don't do that. That is way too many fucking points. CFL gets crazy in the fourth quarter.
Dude, look at you, dude. Why are you being such a negative Nancy right now?
Because crazy shit happens.
Dude, you gotta be a positive Polly.
Well, no, like 14.5 is way too many. Like,
yeah,
Montreal can score like twice in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be a little more confident than you are, my friend.
I bet this over though. Yeah. I bet this over though.
Right now, the live bet on the over is 46.5.
That's not too much different than where it was before.
I know.
It was at 49.
46.5. And they're at 30 right now. So that would mean it would need 3 scores.
It's not unheard of. Especially Montreal games.
Yeah, that's a lot, though. That's a lot, bud.
Almost had a touchdown from Montreal. But yeah, crazy shit happens.
Jim, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your Thursday night, coming on, telling the people the CFL GOAT.
CFL Jim, baby.
Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you and what you have coming out this weekend?
You can find me on Twitter at XFL Jim, Instagram XFL Jim, Twitch XFL Jim, and YouTube, of course, XFL Jim. So Friday this week, either when you're listening to this or watching this or whenever, Friday, I have a video coming out explaining what the people ask me to explain all the time what the Jimiverse is. I have an explainer video coming out tomorrow on Friday. So be on the lookout for that. And then next week, I have my preview for the Major League Football, which just folded, it sounds like. So I'm still releasing the preview. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that, but it's still coming. And then next week, I think I'm going to do a grilling stream. That'll be fun.
Okay. And then we have our Pac-12
preview on the college football tailgate with Uncle Rico here, and then also Spring Fever every Thursday.
Probably, what was it? Was it TGIF? Thank God. No. What was the name of that Thursday lineup? I know the one Friends and Seinfeld were on it back in.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Was it catchy nickname? We would have been in there. We would have been the lead-in for Friends. I feel
we would have been the lead-in for Friends. I bet. Yeah,
we would have been the lead-in for Friends. Jim, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come on and talk a little CFL. I look forward to talking to you next week, my friend.
Anytime.